Section 0.3 talks about multiplying and dividing fractions. So the way we're going to multiply fractions is real simple. We're going to multiply the numerators. We're going to multiply the denominators. If we can simplify, we want to go ahead and do that. Let's take a look here. Excuse me, remember, we're multiplying just straight across. So 3 times 2 is 6. 5 times 7 is 35. I can't simplify that, so I won't. Okay, let's try the next one. 1 times 5 is 5. Oops, that goes on the top. Okay, here we go, 5. 3 times 4 is 12. I cannot simplify it, so I won't. Alright, 7 times 1 is 7. 3 times 5 is 15. Again, can't simplify. 6 times 2 is 12. 5 times 3 is 15. I can simplify. I can divide them actually both by 3. So 3 goes into 12 4 times, and 3 goes into 15 5 times. So I want to be able to reduce those fractions, okay? All right. So a lot of times what we try to do is when we're multiplying fractions, the reason why I knew this one here would be able to reduce is because, remember, we're dividing both these numbers by 3. So I'm taking a number on the top and a number on the bottom, and I can divide it into both. Well, if I look at this number on the bottom and that number on the top, I can actually divide both those numbers by 3. That's why this one was going to be able to be reduced. So I'm looking for numbers on the top and the bottom that I can reduce. So in my next problem here, before I do anything, I'm going to see if I can reduce any numbers on the top with any numbers on the bottom. The 3 will not reduce either with a 5 or the 7, so I'll leave that alone. But this 5 and that 5 can both be reduced. I can divide them both by 5. That leaves me a 1. That leaves me a 1 here. Here's my 7. Now when I multiply straight across, that gives me 3 over 7. Okay. We can do the same thing here in this problem. This 4 and this 2 can both be divided by the number 2. So 2 goes into 4 twice, 2 goes into 2 once. I can't reduce 5 or 11, so I'll leave those numbers alone. When I multiply straight across, that just gives me 10 over 11. Can't simplify it. Okay. And the last one here, let's see. 15 and 27, I can divide them actually both by 3. So 3 goes into 15 5 times. 3 goes into 27 9. We can also reduce 8 and 10. We can divide them both by 2. That'll give me a 4. That'll give me a 5. Now, a lot of times people want to reduce these 5s. I can't. I'm only reducing numbers on the top with something on the bottom. Both those 5s are on the top, so I can't simplify them. 5 times 5 is 25. 4 times 9 is 36. And that's where we stop. Okay. Let's go ahead and do the same thing here on the next one. First, I'm going to think of that 7 as 7 over 1 times 3 over 5. 7 won't reduce with 1 or 5, and 3 won't reduce with 1 or 5. So I'm going to multiply straight across. That gives me 21 over 5. For the next one, I'll think of this as 3 over 16 times 4 over 1. Now, those numbers, we can divide them both by 4. So 4 goes into 16 4 times. 4 goes into 4 once. And multiplying straight across, we just get 3/4. Okay. All right. Now, how do we divide fractions? So here it says to divide fractions, invert the second fraction that is the divisor. What they mean by invert is we're going to flip the second fraction. Okay. Then it says we're going to multiply them. So the first fraction is going to stay as it is, 1/3. I'm going to change that from a divide to a multiply, and we are going to invert, or we're going to flip this one here. Instead of 1 over 2, it becomes 2 over 1. Notice I can't really reduce anything here, so I'm going to go straight across. 1 times 2 is 2. 3 times 1 is 3. And we're done. Okay. Second one, I'll do it the same way. This is 2 over 5. That's going to give me 10 over 3, because I'm flipping the second one. I'm changing it to a multiply. I am going to reduce these numbers first. So I'll leave that 2 alone. I'll leave this 3 alone. 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 10 twice. When we multiply straight across, I end up with 4/3. And the last one here, we have 2 over 3, divide, or change to multiply, we're going to invert or flip that one. That becomes 5 over 7. It doesn't look like we can reduce anything, so we'll multiply straight across. It gives me 10 over 21. Okay. Let's do the same thing for example number 7. So first thing I'll do is I'm going to think of this as 1 over 3 divided by 2 over 1. Now remember, my first fraction stays the same. We change it to a times, and we got to flip that one. 1 over 2, multiplying straight across, end up with 1 over 6. Okay. The second fraction, I'll think of that as 5 over 1 divided by 1 over 3. Remember, my first fraction stays the same. Instead of 1 over 3, I'm going to write that as 3 over 1. Multiplying straight across, that gives me 15 over 1. And remember, if it's over 1, we're going to just write it as 15. Okay? All right. Let's take a look at example number 8. So don't freak out when you see them like this. This is my first fraction. This is my second one. So the first fraction is 3 over 7. Remember, we change it to times. We got to flip the second fraction. That becomes 5 over 3. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and reduce those 3's. That gives me a 1 over 7 times a 5 over 1. And we end up with 5 over 7. Okay. Do the same thing here. Remember, 2 over 9 is my first fraction. Change it to multiply. We're going to flip this guy. 7 over 5. Okay. I can't reduce anything here, so I'm going to multiply straight across. That is a 14. 9 times 5 is 45.